What's cracking, people? It's your man, Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, representing high level technicians operating globally and beyond. So, listen, today I wanted to present a scenario that came up during a coaching client session. And shout out to all the Patreon supporters and the men who have sought value and benefit with private coaching sessions. The links will be in the description down below. Now, I won't go into any details in terms of what was discussed during the session, but at the end of the day, we were putting together seduction scenarios for him, and he went, he used them, and he got the results. He got results. But what also happened was that the woman that he desired to acquire presented something to him that made him pause, and he got through this situation, but he relayed this back to me. The fact that he was taken aback by the fact that she would, present a scenario like she did to him. And my response immediately was this: that's a pressure test. Some people may call it a shit test. Some people may call it whatever. But in the game, in seduction, hell, even in sports or even HVAC. People perform what is known as pressure tests, and this simply is a check to make sure that your work is true, that you are who you say you are, that you are capable of handling the rigors and challenges and the nuances of this vocation that you stepped into. Okay, and I think the bigger takeaway was the lesson of what being alpha truly is. And I know that that subject of alpha and beta or whatever could rub people the wrong way, but the reason why I embrace it is because I've been in spaces where the difference between embracing your talent meant the difference between winning or losing, meant the difference between being successful or failing. And many people know part of my background. I spent 10 years in NFL security, so in that span of time, I've gotten to work with multiple organizations throughout the country, but I've also gotten to interact with different players, different managers, coaches, front office members, and leaders who are very, very upfront about what their expectations are. And I'll tell you, the most valuable commodity in a space like that is talent, bar none, full stop. Talent acquisition is the center of most professional universes, be it an enterprise, be it a sports team, be it a political campaign. Talent is something that you cannot manufacture. Now, you can put together systems to get a repeatable outcome, and that's fine. That'll sustain you. But if you are looking to take your operation to the next level, everybody knows that at the end of the day, you have to at some point acquire talent. And so the difference between an alpha and a role player, hint, hint, you notice what I did there? Alpha and beta, very true things, very, very true parts of reality, but it's all about how you position it. You have your champion and you have your role player, and the biggest difference between alpha and beta is how they manage pressure. A lot of guys who played sports growing up recognize that even as young as 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, we did the countdown drill. Now, what the countdown drill is, you're at the bottom of the ninth, you're in the fourth quarter, all right, you're down by 1 point, you're down by a touchdown, you're down by whatever. You are drilling to see how you perform within the final seconds, when the game is on the line, when the championship is on the line, when everything that you've worked for, your team has worked for over the course of the season, comes down to this one moment, this one play, this one display of your competence. That is pressure. And some people realize at a young age that they not only know how to deal with it or manage it, or excel within a pressure scenario, but they were built for it. They were made for the pressure. They actually crave the pressure. Give me the ball with 3 seconds left and we're down by 2 and we need a 3-pointer. Give me the ball and we're down by a touchdown. Okay, give me the call up to bat. Okay, when we need a home run or we need a triple or we need a hit. Sure, most people like to fantasize being in that scenario or that situation growing up, but it is only when you are pressure tested do the true champions emerge. And this is not to take away from the necessity of a role player. We'll talk about that in the next podcast. But right now we're talking about the difference between alpha and beta, the difference between the champion and the role player. So right now we're focusing on the alpha or the champion. And when push comes to shove, that fantasy is over, especially in the real world. The real world will put that pressure on you and see what you're made of and see how you are built. And in no other space does that happen more so than in the dating and mating space. And so what I took away from the coaching client and what I explained to him is that part of your game, part of your seductive skill set has to do with self-awareness. A true alpha wants that pressure, especially when he's dealing with women. And it's not something that he consciously seeks out per se. It's a reflex. Whereas people who are not necessarily built for that pressure, they put together systems, they put together scenarios, they train, they get those repetitions in so that they can manage the pressure. Okay, so that's a big difference. There's a difference between being built for pressure and learning how to manage the pressure. Okay, so beyond that, women can sense that. Women can sense, they can smell it on you if you're built for something, and they'll say it. They'll say, "Oh, you're a player," or "Oh, I bet you got all the hoes," or "Oh, I bet you can, do this, in the bedroom or whatever," and they're not wrong. And one of the things that I want to encourage guys is to search that within yourself and understand if you are built for that or built that way, because that'll govern your response when a woman puts that in your face. An alpha, he won't even blink before saying, "Of course, absolutely, you're right about that. And what does that have to do with me and you?" And can stand on that. And he does not shudder if a woman bristles, from his response, because he knows what comes next. He doesn't have anxiety about, "Oh, damn, if I tell her that, yeah, I'm smashing 15 other ones, man, I might lose her." Oh, okay, that's cool. But the role player or the beta would want to think about his response. He may hesitate. He may say, "Damn, what are the right words to tell this woman so I don't lose this opportunity, so I don't lose her right now in this moment?" It's just a difference of approach. It's all game. It's just the difference in how you handle or manage pressure. And so, as the life lesson or the greater takeaway from this is that you need the pressure. We all need to be tested so that we know who we are. Because in life, and more specifically in seduction, in the game, you need to know how you perform under pressure, because that makes the difference between you taking on more than you can manage or you being in your comfort zone. You see, a role player, aka beta, may not recognize or realize what he is, and he may find himself trying to compete with the alpha or the champion in roles or in spaces that are not native to his skill sets. Okay, we'll talk about native skills in another podcast, but in terms of, having a roster, having a rotation, that is not for everybody. I'm going to tell you that right now. That is not for everybody. Now, most men can do it. Yes, you can go through the motions. You can perform the duties and the task and the maintenance and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's just a performance. You're performing. Whereas an alpha or a champion, he does that as a reflex. All right, let me say this again. Okay, being in certain positions within this game, you're either performing or it's as natural as a reflex. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on you if that's not how you're built, if that's not your role. And what that pressure will eventually do, it'll start to break down other aspects of your life. You know, all these stresses, all of these other problems. You're going to be losing money here. You're going to, get thrown out of places here because you didn't do this right. Trying to roll in a lane that you're not built for. Shout out to C Boogie. Know your lane. Know your role. It's okay. You don't have to have a roster of 5 women just to prove your masculinity. On the contrary, knowing who you are, knowing that you are a role player, and building up your muscle memory, building up your skill sets within your space, within your lane, is all that you need to be on your path of masculine mastery, because at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. An alpha is always going to be an alpha. He is going to knock them down by the dozens, just as easy as it is to breathe. That's not your lane per se. However, champions always need role players. And every organization, from in the mom and pop startup all the way to the large multi-level conglomerate, understands the importance and the necessity of a role player. Hell, even alphas know the value of a role player. Because at the end of the day, yes, the alpha wants the ball. Yes, the champion wants that ball with 3 seconds left of the game. But sometimes the alpha or the champion will pass that ball to the role player because the role player is capable of making that shot. The quarterback, with no more time on the clock, doesn't have to end the game with the Hail Mary. He can end it with the handoff. Understanding your role, understanding your position will maximize your impact in this thing we call life. So anyway, at the end of the day, when we look at this quintessential difference between alpha and beta, or the champion and the role player, we know this. Alphas don't complain about pressure tests because it dovetails with the natural dominance frame. Betas or role players, however, don't have the easiest time with pressure. The last second shot, the project due date, the women who shit test them not only will crack a role player, but even offend them to the point of having a negative or aggressive reaction to pressure. You see? And living in a participation trophy culture is the worst thing ever for an alpha. Because with the beta, the promise of winning just for showing up, oh man, let's do that. All I gotta do is make money. All I gotta do is have this thing, and she's going to put that thing on me. Oh, let's go. Whereas with an alpha, I need to hunt. With an alpha, I'm designed and I'm built to go get it. Handing me the same thing that you handed that guy, I'm going to leave that on the table, and I'm going to not only go build my own system, but then I am going to attract the more challenging, the more fulfilling, the more profound experiences. You see? So at the end of the day, this is what another thing that I tell my coaching clients is this. Everybody, every human, every person, every system is on a journey, on a quest for truth. Because you cannot manufacture truth. The truth is not something that you can put together artificially. It's woven into the very fabric of reality. So what is the truth, cousin? What is the truth? I'll tell you. Masculinity is the truth. and femininity is the proof, which is why men make champions and women wait for champions. In the next installment, we're going to cover the role player. Just because you may be labeled a beta doesn't mean that you cannot still be a masculine master. Select men, pre-select men, non-select men. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, this is your man Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, saying, stay sharp and mission focused. Later.